Sangat ji, please take Aarti. Namaste to Guruji and a very warm welcome to Guru Rupi Satsangat. Today, Sangat ji, we are blessed to have a pure soul जिनकी भावनाएं महाराज के लिए कुछ इस तरह से हैं। मैं इबादत करूं तेरी, संग तेरे होवे रूह मेरी, मैं मग्न तू सुकून मेरा, तू आगे आगे चल तेरे पीछे पीछे आऊं मैं। चलिए आज आंटी की बातों को ध्यान से केवल सिर्फ न सुनते हुए उस पर चलने की चेष्टा भी करें, ताकि हम भी मुट्ठी भर संगत होने के सफर में कम से कम चलना तो आरंभ करें। So without wasting any time further ado, with folded hands and bowed heads, welcoming Sonia Mehra Aunty ji. Jai Guruji Aunty.
Jai Guruji Aunty. Am I audible?
Yes, Aunty. Yes, you are. Very much.
Anantam Shukrana to Guruji Maharaj for everything जो इस जिंदगी उन्होंने दिती है, उन्हां दी बख्शीश। अज सत्संग शेयर कर रही हां, उन्हां दी वडियाई। हर एक चीज दा शुकराना उस मालिक दा। अनंतम शुकराना to Guruji Maharaj for this opportunity to share my satsang today. Mehra ki aite Maharaj di deen hai. This is a gift from Maharaj that I hope I can do justice as a sevadar of Maharaj with my very, very limited soch and my very, very limited ability to talk about the vadiyai of Maharaj. Koi pul chuk hove Maharaj, shama karna is sevak nu. Thank you very much to the Abadat administration for allowing me to share my satsang. Guruji kende si satsang short it sunai. How can we quantify in words what Maharaj has brought to my life and to the life of many Sangat of Maharaj? I will start at the beginning of how we got initiated to meet Maharaj. I have two siblings, Vivek uncle, who is my older brother, and Nalini auntie, who is my sister, older sister. I'm the youngest of three siblings. And we are related to Varun Kochhad uncle and Tarun Kochhad uncle. And we have lived practically all our lives outside India. And when we would come on visits to Delhi, they would often talk about the love of their Guru and would pursue us fervently to meet their Guru so that we could seek the blessings of the Holy One. It was during one such trip that my mother and my brother were in Delhi. And it so happened that they were talking to my cousins. And they said, why don't you come and meet our Guru? Incidentally, our home in Delhi is walking distance to Empire Estate. And this is around 1998, 1999. Pulchok Maaf Guruji, if I have got the year incorrect, but I think this is the correct year. And my cousins had asked Mummy and my brother Vivek uncle to go to Empire Estate. And they gave strict instructions that we will not pick you up from home. Tonu ape aana payega. So Mummy and Bhaiya went to meet Guruji at Empire Estate. They entered the Darbar, and normally we all have preconceived notions of how a guru should be. And in the language used by my brother, he thought Guruji was a rock star because he had no characteristics of a guru, Pulchok Maaf Guruji. And he said, I have not seen a guru jinne enne jazzy kapde paaye hain and is so comfortable in the attire that he is wearing. He has so many people around him. At that time, we didn't know the term Sangat. But when they entered the Darbar, Mummy and Bhaiya, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ pranam kita Guruji nu. And my cousins introduced my mother as their Masi and Bhaiya as their brother. And Guruji ne kya, baitho. So they sat, listened to the divine Shabad Kirtan, had chai prashad, and just as they were about to leave, Guruji Maharaj asked the question that where do they live? And either Bhaiya or Mama replied, Ki asi Kuwait rehne hain. And Guruji said, O kithe hai? All-knowing God Almighty has to come down to our level to allow us to understand that he is a human being. And so Bhaiya answered the question that it is close to Saudi and Iraq, and there's a lot of oil there. And Guruji said, Acha, aande rehna. When Bhaiya bent down to touch Guruji's feet, Guruji ne पिठ ते थापड़ी मारी ते क्या kalyan kita. My mother and brother left Empire Estate as soon as they were leaving. My cousins went out to them and said, do you know you have got the biggest blessings? Guruji kadi pehli wari ich kisi naal gal nahi karde. You got such a tremendous blessing, you know, and you should keep coming back. Of course, when you are not exposed to the Mahima of Maharaj, for us, these words are just words. We don't understand the magnitude of these blessings. So my mother and brother left Empire Estate and they were coming back to Kuwait, and in a casual conversation, it was mentioned that they visited Empire Estate and, more importantly, the guru of my cousins. After that, there wasn't much talk about Maharaj. And as time progressed, my sister and my brother-in-law and daughter moved to Kuwait around the year 2011. And I had incidentally moved with them also. They were moving house and needed help in unpacking their boxes and things like that. And again, due to a very close Sangat here in Kuwait, we were again prompted to go to the mandir here in Kuwait. But jab tak Guru Ji da hukam na hove, we cannot even think of going to the mandir. It is his will, it is his timings that allow the Sangat to visit his Darbar or to even attend a Satsang. It is all Maharaj's will at the end of the day. So as time went on, we got busy in unpacking the home. And one evening, my sister and I were going to meet somebody. It was around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, where we were driving on a very busy highway. And we got into a terrible car accident where our car spun several times and we were in the opposite direction of moving traffic. At 8 o'clock at night on a busy highway, anything could have happened. My sister, with a very good presence of mind, released the handbrake and the brake at the same time, and we were allowed to go into the breakdown lane without any cars coming at us, without us having any sort of collision. And both of us left that accident without a scratch. Sirf aur sirf Maharaj hai kar sakte hain. It is unfathomable to think that anybody could have got out of that accident without a scratch. Incidentally, the area where the accident happened was and is the mandir of Maharaj, and both my sister and I knew that this is our calling. We have to go, we have to give shukrana and thanks to Maharaj for saving us from something that would have been a calamity. I was leaving the next day to Delhi, and we had to defer our going to the mandir. But when I came back after 3 months, both my sister and I and my niece went to the mandir. I want to say it was a big festival, maybe Guruji Maharaj's birthday on 7th July, because there were a lot of Sangat. And as soon as we entered the Darbar, they played one of my favorite shabads, Lakh Khushiyan Paatshaiyan, Je Satgur Nadar Kare. And my sister looked at me and she said, this is your favorite shabad. And you know why it is being played? Because Guruji wants you as a devotee. And those words are true. There has been no looking back for us as a family, for our connection with Maharaj. I will forever be indebted to Maharaj for allowing us to be a part of his Sangat and to allow us whatever little seva we can do for him. I'm eternally grateful. During the course of my living in Kuwait, I started working. I till date have a highly pressurized job where it is not uncommon for me to work 7 days a week and extremely long hours with a lot of stressful situations. Having said that, going through the motions of working in this high pressure job, I know Maharaj knows that I'm capable of doing it, and I take it in my stride to do whatever I can to the best of my ability where it comes to my work. It was at one particular day during my time where I had started reading the holy book, The Light of Divinity. And due to time constraints, I decided that I would read hopefully one chapter a day from the holy book to be able to make my connection stronger with Maharaj. And I had downloaded the site on my desktop so that I could read the satsangs while I'm in the office if I could, or I would read while I was at home after office hours. On this particular day, we had a meeting in the office and I was not required to attend. So I was extremely happy that I could use this opportunity to read my satsang from the Light of Divinity. And I would read the satsangs in sequence as they would appear on the website. And today, that day, I was reading the satsang of Narendra Dhand Uncle, Master of Life and Death. Sangatji, during this time, the time I want to say is midday around noon, where a lot of activity takes place. People coming in and out of my office, phone calls, calls on the mobile, people wanting explanations or a normal course of business where it is extremely busy, plus a meeting is in progress. Once I started reading that satsang, a rosy fragrance started to come in my office. It was as if time had stopped still. Nobody entered my office, no phone calls, and I just started reading the satsang, which was quite long. And at first I thought it was my imagination that I could sense this rosy fragrance in my office, but no. Once I started reading, I realized that this is Maharaj's Leela, Maharaj's Bakshish. And while I was reading the satsang, I started doing the mantra jap in tandem. And Maharaj makes it so apparent that whatever you are reading or whatever you are thinking is really true, because I go to the next section of that satsang where it says, everybody is blessed. I was so moved to tears, continued reading the satsang where it talks about Narendra uncle's brother Sunil uncle, who got saved twice by Maharaj. Both Narendra uncle and Sunil uncle go to the Amarnath caves as they had been doing several years before they had met Maharaj, and Maharaj also emits this rosy fragrance in the caves while both of them are there, and Guruji says, I am Shiv. He makes himself known in the Shivling itself. And at the end of that satsang, Guruji Maharaj professes to Narendra uncle that if you come to my place, you don't need to go anywhere else, as I am God. Sangatji, There can be no bigger testament than that to say who Maharaj is. And at that point in time, I really understood that Guruji Maharaj is not just a guru. Guruji Maharaj is God. He is omnipotent. He is omniscient. He is omnipresent. He has unlimited power. He has infinite awareness. And he is present anywhere and everywhere. And to me, it was a clear message that there is no special time to remember God. There is no special time to remember Guruji Maharaj, because he is unsung. He is with you 24/7. As long as you connect yourself with him, he will make you understand all these things. I'm eternally, eternally grateful to Maharaj for giving me this message. And I'm so humbled that I can share this message on this platform today with all the Sangat. I have a college friend who is Iranian, and we used to speak often on WhatsApp. And then she shared to me about 3 years ago that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And like all ardent Sangats of Guruji, the first thing we tell whoever is in distress for them to connect with Maharaj, because Maharaj can remove all those miseries from their life. I spoke to her extensively about Maharaj, gave her the Swaroop through WhatsApp, told her to connect through the Light of Divinity website, and also spoke to her throughout her treatment and process of battling with cancer, that Maharaj is with her. Talk to him. He will guide you. He will provide that relief. And ultimately, when you go in for your surgery, say these golden words that, Maharaj, I want you to do my surgery through the doctor. May his hands work on me as if you are working on me, so that I am free of this disease. Thankfully, she got cured of her breast cancer, and she invited me after COVID to visit her in the US. Sangaji, I was very apprehensive to make that trip. One, because it's several hours from here, and COVID was still not completely eradicated from our lives. And I told her that it would not be possible for me. Then she suggested Hawaii, and again, I declined very politely, saying that it wouldn't be possible for me. Ultimately, the year before last, in December during Christmas, she told me that she has planned a trip to Europe, which would be last year, February and March, where we would meet in Amsterdam, go by road to Brussels, and our ultimate destination would be Paris, France. That sounded like something that I could manage, and I agreed to meet her last year in February in Amsterdam. During the course of my planning for my trip, Sangaji, I had heard a satsang during COVID about, an uncle was sharing actually, saying that no matter what our status is in life, whether we are rich, whether we are influential, whether we have political connections or have a wide network, during the times of COVID, we are all reduced to one level. That one level constitutes us all being GuruJi's Sangat. There is no status during this time. And then he went ahead and said, you could buy a Rolex watch during any time period of your life, but you cannot get a bracelet of Guruji Maharaj. Actually, Sangatji, I had kept a bracelet aside for my friend and a Swaroop, and that was the indication for me to remember to take those for her. Profound words from a Sangat, as Maharaj used to say, you will get messages from Sangats, you will get messages from Satsangs, and you will get messages from the divine Shabads that I have chosen that should be played during the Satsang. So as I was packing, Guruji Maharaj reminded me to take the bracelet and the Swaroop for my friend, which I took with me. And in fact, this satsang of this gentleman was heard 1 week prior to my travel. No coincidences with Maharaj. I made the trip to Amsterdam, and as I generally do, like a small child or a companion of Maharaj, I always invite him to travel with me, because you can get no better companion than Maharaj for your trips. So Maharaj accompanied me on my trip. As usual, the seat beside me was vacant, and I was laughing and I said, Maharaj, really, you are accompanying me on my trip? I got to the hotel where we were staying, and in fact, it is in the center of Amsterdam, which is surrounded by beautiful canals and museums. And I met my friend, and we were so happy. And she told me, I want you to tell me everything about your Guru. What better gift could I give her than to talk about the Mahima of my Maharaj? And in fact, there were so many things that I had forgotten along the way. And while I was talking to her, Maharaj was prompting me, Unu Avidas, Anapuli, Ovidasi. Maharaj, in his very chaste Punjabi, he was prompting me to give all the details to my friend about him. So we had sat in the lobby and actually forgot about time because we were so engrossed in talking about Maharaj that she said, oh, you must be so tired. Let's go and leave your suitcases in the room and then we can come down and have breakfast. And I said, yes, that sounds like a good idea. And we went up to the room, dropped my suitcases, went to the elevator. The doors opened, they shut again, and they opened again. And she said, I don't know what's going on. And I said, you know, Maharaj is accompanying us to breakfast. He wants to come with us, and he will be with us throughout our trip. And she just laughed and she said, my gosh, How much is he a part of your life? And I said, when you connect with him, he will be a part of your life too. Sangatji, while I said those words to her, I was so gripped with emotion, because you can talk to somebody about Maharaj. You cannot make them feel what Maharaj does to you, how he makes his presence felt. There are no words to describe what I felt for him and what I feel for him. My friend got me a beautiful Tibetan necklace, which she had blessed from the Tibetan monks. And in the pouch, she had a cutout butterfly. And I laughed and I told her, I said, you know, one of the signs that Maharaj is with us is a butterfly. And I gave her the swaroop and I gave her the bracelet, and she immediately put it on and kissed the bracelet and said, you know, he is going to be with me. And then we decided what we would do for that day. We were very close to the Rijksmuseum, walking distance from us. And we decided that we would schedule a tour of the museum. But during that time, it was completely full. And we could only get tickets to the partial level of the museum. We couldn't see all the museum, but we could only get a partial view of the museum. And my friend was a little disappointed. And I said, don't be disappointed. Let's go with the flow and let's see what this day has in store for us. So while we were waiting, we'd already got our tickets through the internet. And we were talking, and we got into the museum. We went to the first floor, went to the second floor, took lots of photographs, talked about various things. And then the last thing we needed to do was to go to the basement for the ending of the tour. Sangatji, before I got to the basement, there was a rosy fragrance. And I spoke to my friend and I said, can you smell something? And she said, yes. It seems like I can smell flowers, jasmine. I said, what about roses? She said, oh, yes, I can smell roses. I said, do you know, this is the second sign of Guruji, that he emits a fragrance, a rosy fragrance, to show that he is with us. And of course, she was elated with joy. We walked down to the basement, and there was an exposition of Shiva. Sangatji, I stopped in my tracks, spellbound, totally stunned with what Maharaj had given us as a gift, a expo of Shivji, all the forms of Shivji in the form of photographs, in the form of statues, and the rosy fragrance continued. And I told my friend, look at this gift that Maharaj has given us. And again, it was as if time had stopped still. It was just the both of us going through this expo. We had the security guards there, and I had asked, when did this expo start? And they said about 4 months ago. It will only be here for the next 2 months. And after that, this expo will go elsewhere. Sangat ji, if I had met my friend in the US or in Hawaii, we would not have been able to view this priceless gift of Maharaj. And I told my friend, this is the planning of Maharaj. And I really want to say in Punjabi that Jad Guruji Denden Todiyan Choliyan Chotiyan Peh Jandiyan, because you don't know how to assimilate these blessings that Maharaj is bestowing on you. They are in abundance. There are so many that you just cannot quantify in words, that when he wants to bless you, it is unimaginable. I do have the photos of this expo, and any Sangat who would like to see them, I will share them with the administrators of Ibadat, because these are priceless gifts of Maharaj that should be shared. And I would be more than happy, as a humble servant of Maharaj, that I will be more than happy to share this with the Sangat. After our trip to the museum, I suggested to my friend that we should do a mantra jap every day. And by Maharaj's grace, we would do the mantra jap together. And she would tell me, Sonia, I get so much relief and positivity. She is Iranian. She does not understand what the mantra jap is. And I explained to her as best I could, shared with her the mantra jap for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes that we can find on YouTube. And in the next few days, we started on our tour, and we went to a farm outside Amsterdam that had peacocks, incidentally. And I was laughing, and I told my friend, you know, this is another sign of Guruji. And she just kept on laughing. She said, oh my God, he is everywhere. And I said, yes, you have to remember that. Guruji is everywhere. And generally, peacocks are not very friendly, but these peacocks were so friendly, Sangatji, that they were coming up to us. They were spreading their wings. They had an open fan. They were dancing. And I was doing the mantra jap, saying, thank you, Guruji, for really making this trip such a memorable trip, not only for me, but for my friend who is a new Sangat. I'm sorry to use this term because we don't know when we have connected with Maharaj, but just as a description, that you are really coming into the forefront and making her understand that you can do anything and everything at any given time or place. We had our road trip to Brussels, and then we went onwards to Paris. And I just wanted to celebrate her birthday with her, and I asked her where she would like to go for lunch. And she had chosen an Iranian restaurant, and we walked to the restaurant. Opposite our restaurant was an office that had the word Shiva written on it. It is unbelievable in a place like Paris to have the word Shiva in bold letters. We sat at a table in the restaurant where we could see the word Shiva. And of course, Guruji was with us, enjoying our lunch, enjoying our chat, and really telling us that he was a part of everything. On the last day of my trip, my friend was a little tired, and I said I needed to do a little bit of shopping. And I had the help of Google Maps. And I had just finished my shopping, but lost my way because there was construction going on. And I think Google Maps gets a little bit confused of where you need to go. And then I told Maharaj, I'm completely lost. Please take me back to my hotel. And it's at one of the lanes that I saw across the street, a store that said Shiv Kripa. And I knew why Guruji had guided me in the route that he wanted me to go. And I said, thank you, Maharaj, for this blessing on the last day of my trip. Truly, you are the best travel companion anybody could ask for. And Sangatji, I firmly and truly believe the purpose of my trip was to tell my friend about Guruji Maharaj, about his Mahima, to give her the Swarup and the bracelet, and to tell her how she can put Guruji's Swarup in front of a glass of water and purify it with the mantra jap, drink that so that she can feel blessed, she can feel rejuvenated, free of disease, and remain positive as Maharaj wanted and wants for all of us. Ke har haal vich positive raho, har haal vich khush raho. Just a recent update from her that she has completed her last treatment. She is free of cancer. Sab or sab Maharaj di bakshish hai. Again, Sangatji, I have no role to play in this. Meri koi aukat nahi. It is all Maharaj's gratitude, Maharaj's kindness that he has healed her and made her his devotee. My friend shared with me about 6 months ago that she had gone to a healer about 2 years while she was going through her cancer treatment. And while she was sitting with this healer, the healer had told my friend that she had seen a butterfly around her. It just goes to prove that we don't know when we have connected with Maharaj, when he has taken us into his fold, and what he does for us silently, humbly, without letting us know that vi kasht mein tera katiya, I have taken you out of this calamity. We don't know. All we can do is give our shukrana to Maharaj that he is with us at every step of the way. He is guiding us. We have to trust him on this journey of life and really understand that he wants the absolute best for us. No questions asked. Just submit yourself to him and he will guide you through this journey of life. In November last year, there was a trip, actually a very impromptu trip to Bahrain, which is not far from Kuwait. I had gone with two colleagues of mine who are not Indian, incidentally, they are Kuwaiti. And I was in charge of making the arrangements. And we were staying at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This is November last year. And I had this wish that I would like to visit a mandir in Bahrain because I had heard a lot about them. And I said to Maharaj, of course, before going on the trip, ke Maharaj, jo todi ichha, whatever you choose, whatever you will, I will go along with it. We were staying at the executive floor, and I had got my suitcases checked into my room. And the porter had asked if I wanted a table to put my suitcase. And I said, yes, that would be wonderful because I was suffering from a bad back. And that sounded very comfortable for me. So he said he would send one right up. So after a few minutes, there was a knock at my door, and a porter had come with the table and put my suitcase on top. And I spoke to him and I asked him where he was from. And he said he was from India. And I said, oh, from which part? And he said, I am from Punjab. And I laughed and I said, I'm from Punjab as well. And we spoke in Punjabi, and he said, it's so nice to have a Punjabi person staying at the hotel. And I said, I can't believe that there aren't other Punjabis staying at the hotel. You know, it's such a well-known hotel, and, you know, is very posh. And he laughed and he said, Madam ji, not everybody talks with us. Sade naal koi gal nahi karta. And I felt bad. And I said, don't worry, while I'm here, I will be talking to you. And if we can, we will talk in Punjabi whenever you have time, because I really don't want your work to suffer. And then we went off. I had a meeting. So we went off for the day for a meeting, came back to the hotel. And then I didn't really think there was much going on because we were meeting up for dinner. And then I receive a call in my room saying, we are going to Old Bahrain. Would you like to come? And I said, of course. Quickly changed my clothes. We went down and were chauffeur driven to the old part of Bahrain. And as usual, there are a lot of little shops, heritage shops, a lot of knickknacks. And we progressed and walked, and the person was giving us a tour. And while we walked into this very small street, there was the smell of flowers and agarbattis. And that transported me to the time when I was in Bombay, and I would visit temples. And that familiar smell, that aroma was so nostalgic for me that for 1 second, I actually asked Maharaj, ke Maharaj, asi mandir de kol te nahi aaye. And we got there, and sure enough, we were outside a mandir. I wasn't really sure what my Kuwaiti colleagues would say. Would they like to go in? Could I go in and visit the mandir? So I left it to them, and I said, Maharaj, jo ichha. And one of them asked our guide, "Is this a temple?" And he said, "Yes." They turned around and looked at me and said, "Would you like to go?" And I said, "Yes, of course, I'd love to." And was so happy. Took my agarbattis, and it is a Hanuman mandir. I really want to say it's the oldest mandir in Bahrain. It's the Hanuman mandir. And as soon as I walked in, there was the Hanuman Chalisa, and I was reciting it with the small group that was there. And then they started on to Sankat Mochan, and I thought, no, it would get really long, and I really don't want my colleagues to feel that they're spending huge amounts of time in the temple. And I went around. There was a photograph of Shivji, and they had other photographs of various deities. And when I looked around, my colleagues were already talking to somebody in the mandir. He was the pujari. And when he looked at me, he said, "Sat Sri Akal." I was in shock because nothing in my attire would tell him that I am an Indian or a Hindu or a Sikh for that matter. And I looked at him and he repeated again, "Sat Sri Akal." And I said, "Sat Sri Akal ji, for a pujari of a Hanuman temple, it is very uncommon to greet somebody like that." And I knew this is Maharaj's Leela. Anantam Shukrana Maharaj. And I was so happy. He took us to the top of the mandir where they were having a puja. There was a pujari sitting with a peacock feather kurta. I was so happy to see that, thinking that Maharaj is really making his presence felt even on this trip. We were given prasad and given a visiting card to say that we could come back at any time. Noted down my number, and they said that they would be contacting me for any big pujas taking place at the mandir. And as we were leaving, my colleagues said that they didn't really know what to do with the prasad. And I said, no, I would take it very gladly. And we finished our trip. And incidentally, the day after, we were going to go back to Kuwait. And I contacted housekeeping and wanted to meet the boys from Punjab. And I told them, whoever is here, please come to my room. There were about 4 boys. I took some prasad for me back to Kuwait, and I distributed the rest to them. And they were so happy, and they said, you know, it's been months, one said over a year, that they haven't had the time to visit a temple or a gurdwara. And they were so happy that they could get the prasad while being on duty in the hotel. And they asked me the golden words that I do want to repeat. Ke Madam ji, tusi enne achhe ho, toda guru kaun hai? I truly wish that I could have spent hours talking to them about my Maharaj, who had brought this change in my life, this transformation of being humble. Again, Sangatji, I have no role to play in this. But when you are a Sangat of Maharaj, you really have to imbibe the values that he instills in the Sangat, where he tells you, Je tusi muthi wali Sangat banni hai, ਇਹ qualities ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ। Be humble, do seva, speak politely at all times, be a good human being, banda bano, changa insan bano. That for me, when they uttered those words, was the ultimate gift, because you don't expect somebody to say that to you. And I am in touch with the boy from Punjab, the one who came up to my room and gave me the table for my suitcase. He couldn't do enough for me, Sangat ji. I had selfies with them. I got so many gifts from them that I told them that you don't have to do all of this. And they said, we can't express our happiness at meeting such a lovely person from Punjab. All credit, 110, 150, 200% goes to my Maharaj, goes to our Maharaj for making us who we are today. Sangat ji, I have no role to play in this. Meri koi aukat nahi. I am no one in this at all. I want to share the latest satsang before I humbly request to end my satsang. The Maha Samadhi satsangs were taking place in Kuwait, and I was going to attend one satsang that was going to start at 5 o'clock in the evening, which would be completed, let's say, around 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on the satsang sharing and the time you receive your langar prasad, and you can take agya from Maharaj ji and then head home. I had shared a satsang on the 18th of May, and one of the sangats who was listening to my satsang live had requested that I share my satsang on the Mahasamadhi day. Her satsang, incidentally, was starting at 7 o'clock in the evening. And I politely declined and said, if I attend a satsang, I want to reach ahead of time to welcome Maharaj. And I would like to stay for the complete duration of the satsang, take my blessings from Maharaj, go directly home, because those were the vachans of Maharaj, that we should take our blessings directly to our home without stopping anywhere, because this is how we will assimilate the best from Maharaj. So I told her, I said, I will try, depending on what time the satsang gets completed, the 5 o'clock satsang, and then jo Maharaj ta hukam, whatever Maharaj's will. Incidentally, 10 days before the Mahasamadhi satsang, I had fractured my rib. Within the next few days, I had already scheduled a satsang at home. So I had the satsang at home with Maharaj's grace, with the fractured rib, and attended the 5 o'clock Mahasamadhi satsang with this fear that I don't want anybody to know that I am unwell, because focus should be on Maharaj only. When you attend a satsang, focus should only be on Maharaj and no one else. Shukrana Maharaj. Nobody could tell that I had fractured my rib and I was in intense pain. The Sangat requested that I share a satsang, which I did. Thank you, Maharaj. I finished the satsang, took Agya from Maharaj, went directly home, lit my evening jyot as I generally do, did pranam to Maharaj, and went to the next satsang, which incidentally is about half an hour from where I live. That is without any diversions, meaning any roadworks going on. So if roadworks are going on, it would take you, let's say, 35 minutes to reach that Sangat's home. Sangatji, I left my home. Please remember, I had a fractured rib. It was very difficult for me to get in and out of my car. I arrived at the Sangat's place in 17 minutes, 17. Impossible. I wasn't speeding. I got a parking in the next lane of where the satsang was taking place, and I arrived just in time for the beginning of Aarti, so I did not interrupt the Shabad Kirtan, and was in time with the rest of the Sangat to stand and do the Aarti. I sat down and the host shared their satsang, asked me to share my satsang as well, which I did. Shukrana Maharaj. And again, nobody noticed that I was in pain or any discomfort at all. I sat. I was the first one to get Langar Prasad. I washed my hands, took Agya from Guruji Maharaj, and arrived back at home in 17 minutes, 17. Cannot be done on any given day, Sangatji, with roadworks taking place, with diversions, with traffic. Only Maharaj could have done it. So I left my house at 5. I left my house at 4:30 in the afternoon to attend the 5 o'clock satsang. I was at home attending 2 satsangs, coming home with my blessings, lighting my evening jyot, going back in my car, attending the satsang, second satsang, arriving home at 9:30 at night. Sangatji, impossible. But with Maharaj, nothing is impossible, because Guruji says, I am possible. Shukrana, Shukrana Maharaj. Just a few words I would like to share before I close my satsang. Do light a jyot in the evening to dispel darkness, to bring positivity into your home. When I am asked by Guruji Maharaj's grace to share a satsang, I do mention that we should give something to Maharaj for all the efforts that he is doing for us as Sangat. Take 5 minutes out of your day to do a mantra jap for Guruji, who has given us so much, is giving us so much, and will continue to give us so much. Let us do a mantra jap for Guruji, ke Guruji, anantam shukrana toda. If we can, in our limited way, do something for you, let us at least take 5 minutes in our day to do a mantra jap for you. As Guruji used to say, Paat karo. The mantra jap is so powerful that it can take away all your negativities. ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਲੇਖ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਕੀਰਾਂ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. So let's do a part for Guruji. I'm just giving an example of 5 minutes. We should be able to take 5 minutes out of our day to give thanks to Maharaj for all that he is doing for us. Do seva in all forms, whatever it may be. I often say, do one good deed a day. Make a conscious effort to do one good deed a day and see how that multiplies. Nayi sangat nu jodo. Bring a new sangat. If you are reaping the benefits and the rewards of being a Guru Sangat, GuruJi's, Maharaj's Sangat, bring a new Sangat that wo bhi labh utha sake. Let them partake also in the blessings of Maharaj. Let them also make their lives fruitful for them and their families for whatever they are going through in life. But when you bring a new Sangat ji, tell them the decorum of what it means to sit in a satsang, of what it means to partake in the langar prasad, chai prasad, jal prasad, what it means to eat it completely because these are their blessings, what it means to not be on your mobile, how that disturbs the blessings that Guruji wants to give you. Give them the guidelines, Sangatji, so that they understand that this is not an ordinary prayer meeting. It has its rules because Maharaj has set them for us. Or har haal vich positive ravo, har haal vich khush ravo. Shukrana us Malik ta karo. That Malik who has given you everything. This breath that we take, this body that we are able to do so many things. This speech, let it be golden. When we light the jot for Maharaj, let it be a pyar di jot. A pyar di jot jalao. As dunya where there is so much negativity. Let's really be that Sangat of Maharaj, that muthi bhar Sangat of Maharaj ke log tonu puchan, toda Guru kaun hai? I'm so grateful to Maharaj for everything he has given me and my family. And to the pyari Sangat, jo o jod de pen, how much we can learn from Sangat. Nobody knows practically everything in life, but when you open yourself up, as Maharaj used to say, Sarya to sikho, be open, go with the flow, understand the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to be joyful. The meaning of life is to imbibe whatever Maharaj wants to give you. And I want to close my satsang in saying, Anantam Shukrana Maharaj. कोटि कोटि प्रणाम ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ गुरु जी, हर वेले अंग संग रहन दा शुकराना मेरे मालिक कि तुसी इन्ना कुछ देंदे हो, मुट्ठी भर की तुसी अनंतम देंदे हो सारियां नू. Let us live in the glory of being Maharaj's Sangat. शुकराना, अनंतम शुकराना. भुल चुक माफ गुरु जी जे मैं कुछ वध घट बोलिया. शुकराना टू दी इबादत administration for this golden opportunity where I cannot really quantify in words what this seva means to me, because this is the ultimate seva for Maharaj. I really am very grateful and thankful for their very, very kind gesture to me. And I just want to say, ibadat kar, ibadat kar, ibadat karan naal gal bandi hai. Kisi di aj bandi hai, kisi di kal bandi hai. Ibadat kar. Shukrana, shukrana. Anantam, anantam shukrana. Koti, koti pranam tonu Guru ji. Thank you very much, Sangat ji, for listening to me. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਝੋਲੀਆਂ ਭਰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀਆਂ. ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ, ਸਿਹਤਾਂ, ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ, ਬਰਕਤਾਂ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ. ਜੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਜੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ.